The Google location logging system is still tracking your movements right now, and 40 state attorneys general can't stop it. Right now, your Android device is sending a ping to Google's servers carrying your precise coordinates. Your state's attorney general already took Google to court over exactly this. They settled for $391 million, and the location data is still flowing. Tonight, I'm going to show you the specific system they never had to shut down and why they never will. Google has two location controls. Everyone knows the first: location history, the timeline of everywhere you've been. Google marketed it as optional, off by default, entirely in your hands. What they didn't advertise was the second system, web and app activity. It runs on a separate toggle, a separate consent screen, a separate data pipeline. The product name is different. The legal classification is different. But the output is identical, a persistent identifier attached to your movements, timestamped and stored indefinitely on Google's servers. This is the system Google built to survive regulation. And it worked. In 2018, the Associated Press published documentation showing Google was logging precise location data even when users had location history completely disabled. Not city-level approximations. GPS coordinates, timestamped to the second, tied directly to your account. The mechanism was web and app activity. Every map search, every Google query, every tap inside a Google app, each action triggered a telemetry handshake that quietly included your location. The data went into a separate log most users had never heard of. Google's own support documentation acknowledged this, but buried under a different menu, written in different language. They didn't call it location tracking. They called it activity. Same coordinates, different label. Different legal classification. 49 states opened investigations. The FTC was formally notified. Congress convened hearings. Google promised to clarify its disclosures. They updated text on a settings page. The logging continued. In November 2022, 40 state attorneys general reached a $391 million settlement with Google, the largest consumer privacy settlement in U.S. history at the time. The states argued Google had deceived users into believing that turning off location history was sufficient. A federal court approved the agreement. The settlement required Google to show users both toggles and explain what each one does. Google complied. They updated the interface, added a screen. The new disclosure clearly states that web and app activity also captures location data. The settlement did not require Google to stop collecting that location data. Because now that users can see the disclosure, they consent by not acting. Here is the mechanism that makes this system untouchable. The moment Google updated those disclosures, the entire legal structure shifted. Before the settlement, users had a viable deception argument. They turned off one switch and reasonably believed location tracking was over. After the settlement, Google added language explaining that a second switch exists and does the same thing. The legal conclusion from that point forward: if you saw the disclosure and didn't turn off the second switch, you agreed to the collection. The attorneys general got their $391 million and a press release. Google got something worth considerably more: a legal architecture that reclassifies every future user as an informed participant who chose not to opt out. The FTC's authority under Section 5 of the FTC Act covers unfair and deceptive trade practices. The key word is deceptive. Google's updated disclosures, however buried, however technical, erase the deceptive element from the legal record. The audit trail now shows disclosure. The telemetry handshake still runs every time you open a Google app. And here's the part that never made the settlement coverage. The web and app activity pipeline doesn't just feed location logs. It feeds the advertising infrastructure. The persistent identifier tied to your location history connects directly to the behavioral profile that determines what ads you see, what prices you're quoted, and what results surface first in search. Dismantling the data pipeline wouldn't just stop location tracking. It would dismantle the revenue model that generates over $200 billion annually. No consent decree has ever asked Google to do that. It's still running. Right now, if you have a Google account and haven't specifically located and disabled web and app activity, your location is being logged. Through every search, every maps check, every interaction with any Google product on your device. That data is retained and connected to your account. It is used to build a behavioral model based on where you physically travel, the medical building you drove past, the political rally you attended, the neighborhood you spent an hour in on a Tuesday afternoon. The settlement that was supposed to address the deception made the collection permanent. It converted a deception case into a consent case. Google now has a court-documented record that you were informed and didn't opt out. So here is the question the settlement never answered. If the fix for secretly tracking millions of people is a disclosure buried 4 menus deep, written once and never surfaced again, who was that disclosure actually designed to protect? Not you. You never asked to be tracked in the first place. The question is, who benefits most from a regulatory process that leaves the system running and renames it consent?